How's it gaming? I'm PhilInTheBlanks. Welcome back to Turnabout and Reunion. Here's some more gumshoe testimony. Woo! What transpired? During the channeling, the defendant saw her chance to stab the victim in the chest. Of course, the victim used the last of his strength to fight back, sir. While the two were fighting, the victim took out his gun. The victim took a shot, but because they were too close, he missed. The defendant then picked up on the opening, took the victim's gun, and ended it. This scenario you have put together does make sense. Yes, sir. Well, Mr. Wright, on the surface it does seem to make sense. However, I won't give up that easily. Please refrain from glaring at me like that. Now then, your cross-examination, please. Alright, During the channeling, the defense saw her chance to stab the victim. The victim used the last of his strength to fight back. While the two were fighting, the victim took out his gun. The victim took a shot, but because they were too close, he missed. He was too close? So you're saying that the bullet hole in this costume was made then? Sorry, pal, but yeah, that's what I think. The two of them were already fighting when a shot was fired. Maya, I'm really glad you weren't hurt. Huh. His testimony certainly makes us look very bad, but there's gotta be a contradiction there somewhere. And uncovering it is going to uncover the truth. I can feel it. Let's see. Oops. You know what? The bullet hole doesn't have the scorch marks on it, which means they could have been that close, because we learned that... Where is it? Gunpowder residue around bullet hole. And there's no gunpowder residue on the bullet hole on Maya's costume. So they weren't too close. Yeah, there we go. If you hear the music go away, that means you struck gold, so yay. Missing the tiny hole in this costume will be the prosecution's undoing. Actually, yeah. Eh? What do you mean? This little hole has actually created a huge hole in your testimony. Ba-bam. Explain yourself, Mr. Wright. You said the two of them were fighting when the victim fired his gun at point blank. If that were true, then where's the gunpowder burn on the costume? Gunpowder, Boyne. This is what you testified earlier. When something is shot from point blank, a burn area is left around the bullet hole. Oh! But there is not a single trace of gunpowder burn on this costume. You idiot. That is a very good point. And what exactly does this mean? It means that when the shot was fired, they were standing apart from each other. I'm disappointed, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You think you can punch a hole in my logic with that? With wishy-washy thinking like that, anyone can explain anything away. Then I implore you to disprove my line of thinking. Let's see. In the middle of their fight, the victim pushed the defendant away. And it was then, when they were separated, that he fired. How was that? She's very controlled. I like her a lot. She's a fun, rival. As if that was even possible. According to testimony, the wound from the stabbing was very severe. The victim would not have had the strength to push the defendant very far after that. Oh, her first slight crack in the armor. Well then... That's right. The defendant must have pushed the victim away. After stabbing him, she must have put some space between the doctor and herself. And then while she was preparing to strike again, the doctor took his shot. There, that should satisfy even you. That does make an awful lot of sense. What do you think, Mr. Wright? I must be careful. I can't afford to make a mistake here. Concentrate and think. Something does make sense. Of course, you don't want to agree with Francisca. Francisca. There's a fatal flaw in her argument, Your Honor, and the word flaw is in red in this text bubble, so you know it's a big deal. Fatal flaw? Yow! Very interesting. I would love to see where this flaw is. Show me something that contradicts my explanation. There has to be a snag in her explanation somewhere. She put some distance between them before rushing to make the final blow. And when she was about to strike, the doctor took a shot. There must be a piece of evidence that contradicts this line of thinking. And this is actually something that I've been paying attention to since we saw this, is the fact that the bullet hole in the folding screen was near the floor. So in other words, if there was distance and he shot her and like it hit her sleeve, it wouldn't be that close to the floor. This is the piece of evidence that destroys your logic. Sounds like one of those friggin' clickbaity YouTube. This guy destroys feminist logic. And it's like, oh, come on, dude. What is that, a folding screen? I would like to point the court's attention to the hole in this folding screen. Oh, she already... I love when it shows that the rival already knows. Like, it's like, shit. Phoenix figured it out. It looks like you already know what I'm talking about. Who? Where? What? Mr. Wright, your explanation, please. Are these two really that clueless? The bullet went through the defendant's sleeve first, then the folding screen. It passed through at a height of approximately 8 inches off the ground, which means... when the shot was fired, the defendant, was not getting ready to strike, but was actually squatting low to the ground. Order! Order! This changes everything! Please look at this diagram of the crime scene. The victim, Dr. Gray, was here when he fired the shot, and the bullet hit this folding screen. It hit at this location about 8 inches off the ground. At this time, the defendant was in this area. And it would be like, here? Somewhere around here. Oh, no, I screwed up. Uh-oh. His face is scrunched like he just smelled some serious bad breath. Wait, I just realized I forgot to brush this morning. Excuse me while I freshen up. Sure. In the meantime, I want you to think things through again, Mr. Wright. No, I took a single damage. In the original game, Phoenix Wright 1, you had 5 chances. It was ridiculous. In this game, there's I think 10, plus there's intermissions that I think fill your life up, making this one a little bit easier. But I mean, to be honest, just save scum if you're playing for the first time and you're really having trouble figuring things out. Because if you get a game over, you gotta start over on that chapter, and that's dumb. So... of course. Whoops. What's done is done. For now, I should focus on where Maya was at the time of the crime. At this time, the defendant was in this area. I guess over... yeah, she would have been over here, because the bullet hole hit there, I guess, so makes sense. She was standing here, near the folding screen. Wait a second. We know the defendant was close to the ground based on the height of the bullet hole, but how can you gauge the distance from that? Isn't it possible that the defendant was standing much closer to the victim? That's impossible. But why? You, of all people, should know the answer to that question, Miss Von Karma, because you murdered an Australian. If she were shot from somewhere closer, there would be gunpowder burns present. However, there is nothing of the sort around the bullet hole in this costume. Ah, curse you, Mr. Phoenix Wright. I would have gotten away with it if it wasn't for you pesky kids. I believe it has now been proven that the defendant was standing a ways from the victim when she was shot at. But do you think this has changed the defendant's situation? It changes everything. Honestly, Your Honor, this changes everything. The prosecution has claimed that the defendant was aiming to kill by stabbing. If that were true, delivering the final strike with the knife would be ideal. However, where and what was the defendant doing at the time? Squatting all the way by the folding screen. Exactly. If Maya Fey was the real murderer, why would she be by the folding screen instead of preparing to strike? Upon further consideration, it does make very little sense. Yeah, I figured there had to be a reason. Figuring things out and proving the logic behind everything is your job. Oof. Alright, with this, the rest of the trial should be in the oh, you're gonna say in the bag? Because no. Blast radius of disaster. You are such a smart man, Mr. Phoenix Wright. To think that you've been able to take a completely hopeless case to this point. Now I know why Papa had a tough time with you. You amuse me. Ugh, of all the things to inherit, why did it have to be that smarmy smile? I don't know. Her smile's nice. She's a lot cuter than Manfred, so... Detective, how dare you damage my perfect logic? Huh? How is it all my fault? You can start by repairing your standing by first removing that 3-strand goatee. Oh, and rest assured your punishment will come later. Punishment? Well then, Your Honor, I think I've had all I can take of this detective's face. I think it's time to call in the next witness. Next witness? That's gotta be Lotta. Very well. The court will take a 5-minute recess. After we reconvene, we will hear from the next witness. Alright, we got time. I mean, definitely have a little bit of time, so we'll just keep going with this. Phew, that was a close one. I know you were giving it your all to defend me, but I could feel the death penalty hanging in the air. I felt like I was pretty close to dying myself. But you were wonderful out there. You listened carefully, made theories, and tricked everyone into believing you. Tricked everyone. Thanks. Wait, tricked? That must be the lawyer's secret technique, right? It's funny how she doesn't seem to be against the idea of, like, trickery and stuff. You'd think she'd be, like, a more realistic around that type of stuff, but whatever. By the way, is the next witness who I think it is? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Lotta Hart. Oh, guess there's no escaping her, huh? Remember, Nick, you promised you'd save me. If you lose, me and my sister's ghost will come after you and haunt you. I guess so, yeah. Your sister? Are you talking about Mystic Mia? Yeah, do you remember her, Pearly? Oh yeah, she's what, 8? Just curious now. She's 8. This is what she would have been 7 when Mia died. My sister was a super good lawyer. She was also Nick's teacher. Oh, I didn't know that. I'm so sad. June 21st, 11:43. Court will now reconvene. Now the first order of... Ow! I don't want to hear it, old man. After I called my witness, sit there quietly and watch like a good little boy. Yes, sir. Bring in the photographer who witnessed the channeling. Lotta, you're gonna get ripped so much. Witness, your name and occupation, if you please. Hey, Phoenix, how you doing? Just fine. Sorry about this, didn't exactly have a choice, you know. Yowza! Name and occupation. I declare. There we go, we got the true Southern Belle stuff there. What in tarnation? Hey, Judge, this here is violence against my fair self. That's fine. That's fine. That ain't fine, that's a whip. I mean, she's right. It's pretty ridiculous that Francisca has a friggin' whip. And the judge is just like, yeah, that's okay, that's my kink. So, there's no need for foolish outcries from foolishly foolish fools. Just hurry up and testify about what happened on the day of the murder. I haven't even gotten to say my name and job yet. The name's Lotta Hart, paranormal photographer, and I'm here to testify. Now, let's all be one big happy family, okay? Jeez, Judge. He does not have control over this courtroom. Witness's account. Only the doc and the defendant went into the channeling chamber. We were waiting outside the door, and then bang, we hear the gunshot. Mr. Lawyer there broke the door down, and we rushed into the room. Inside was the dead victim, and the defendant waving a pistol around. I swear, other than those two, there was no one else in the room. And did you take a picture of the scene right after the murder took place? Reckon course. Excuse me? Reckon course. It's short for you reckon? Of course I did. Does it look like I care? Just hurry up and show your picture to the court. The moment of truth. What will be in that picture? Let's see here. This here's the picture. I think she took more than one, too. Oh, jeez. Well, that's pretty damning. So there's that. It would certainly seem that only the defendant and the victim were in that room. Lotta's photo added to the courtroom, a picture taken at the murder scene. Are you ready, Mr. Phoenix Wright? I will clear all doubt about Maya through this cross-examination. Just watch me. Dang. Let's see. Only the doc and the defendant went into the channeling chamber. Oh, I didn't get my life back. I thought the breaks meant you got your life back. Oh, whatever. You do at the end of the chapters, I'm fairly certain. Was it really only those two that went in? What are you blabbering about? You were there too, were you not? Ugh. Why don't you answer that yourself? Was it really just the two of them? Yes, Dr. Gray and Maya were the only two that went into the room. Hold on, we can't have the defense testifying against his own client. Anyway, folks, only the two of them went into the channeling chamber, you hear? Lotta's drinking too early in the morning. But you knew that from the very beginning, didn't you? Witness continued. That was really pointless. Oops. We were waiting outside, then bang, we heard a gunshot. Gunshots. There was more than one. Was it really a gunshot? Are you insane? You must have heard it as well. I guess that's true. Like, Lotta is pretty much the exact same witness as I would be Or Phoenix would be, I guess, if he was called to the stand, right? So, why don't you testify for the court, Mr. Phoenix Wright? Was it really a gunshot? Yes, I think it was something that sounded like a gunshot. And why are we here listening to the defense testify? And the world becomes just a little crueler. I heard a gunshot a long time ago, so I know. And I tell you, that was a gunshot I heard. Now this is where the story heats up. I'm not getting anything out of you. You broke the door down, rushed to the room. Inside was the dead victim, the defendant waving a pistol around. I swear other than those two. Inside the dead victim and the defendant waving a pistol around, okay. Are you sure it was the defendant, Maya Fey? Sure, I'm sure. Lotta seems awful confident in her testimony. Press harder. Lotta, please think back to that day one more time. What you getting at? Remember what you said when we broke into that room? I was murdered. Click. Lotta, at a time like this? Times like this are perfect for snapping up shots. But anyway, what's going on here? This gal, is she Maya? When you saw the murderer at that time, you couldn't even tell if it was Maya Fey or not, am I correct? Well, you see... I mean, I would have assumed it was Maya as well if I saw that. Order, Miss Hart! You are here to present accurate testimony. Yeah, sorry. Good, this shifts things back on my side. For a defense lawyer, your defense is terribly lacking, Mr. Phoenix Wright. Witness, think back to when those two entered the channeling chamber. When they entered, one of those people that entered the chamber was Maya Fey, correct? Yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was Maya that went in. Looks like we've come to a collective conclusion. The person in this picture is most certainly Maya Fey. Exactly. Rats, I'm trapped like one, again. I don't know if I'm getting anything out of this. I'm just gonna keep pressing. Are you absolutely certain of that? Sure am, but that old witch chased us out of the room, so... Old witch? Does she mean Morgan Fey? But there was no one else in there, and you know it. The channeling chamber was very dark, almost pitch black. Was there really no one else in there? What about... Oh, shit. Behind the door makes no sense. Under the flooring makes no sense. Behind the flooring screen. Seeing how there was also a gunshot-like thing there, that is the only thing that makes sense to me. What about behind the folding screen? Did you check back there? Wreck given? Oh my gosh. Huh? What in the... Wreck given. You know, you reckon? That's a given. I took me a good look around the room once. There ain't no way anyone was hiding out behind that folding screen. If I may have a word with you, Miss Hart. What? You got a problem? Wreck given? I mean, I am having a little difficulty in understanding you. If you would stop saying such things as wrecking... Oh. Whip. Now then, Mr. Phoenix Wright, do you see a problem with the testimony, or don't you? Her story adds up. What's worse, I was there at the scene of the crime with her. And her story is exactly how I would have told it too. Damn. Wow. Her story adds up. Yeah, crap. Do I have... what did I press on? Only the document I went... We were banging her. Mr. Lawyer broke... I didn't press on that. So let me get this straight. This Mr. Lawyer there broke the door down. Honestly, Mr. Phoenix Wright, why don't you tell us what happened then? Yes, Miss Von Karma, I broke the door down. Sorry. Why does this feel like an inquisition? No need for apologizing, that was great. You're a real man. Oh, really? That's something I would have liked to see. The judge is smiling rather openly. I'll take that as a good sign. Just as I thought, there's nothing wrong with the testimony. Crap. Oh, okay. Probably need to press literally everything, because I'm about to say I don't have any evidence against anything she's saying, because that's exactly what I saw too. Enough! It seems that there are no issues with Ms. Hart's testimony. Guilty! Dunk, dunk, dunk. At the time of the crime, only two people were in the channeling chamber. The victim, Dr. Turner Gray, and the defendant, Maya Fey. The face of the defendant cannot be verified in this picture. However, if we think about the circumstances, it would have to be the defendant. What am I gonna do if I just let this go? What is it, Mr. Wright? You look as if you have something to say. If I make one wrong move, I'm gonna have the judge against me. Is there anything I can present that would prove it's not Maya in the photo? This is one of the very, 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 very few times in the series where you do not go forward and present something, because we do not have anything. We have my badge, we have the paper clipping, that has nothing to do with anything. Let's actually look at the diagram of the... Yeah, the channeling chamber isn't even, like, hooked up to a different room so that someone snuck in or something like that. My time is nothing, the newspaper clipping 2 is nothing. The folding screen is the only thing that's, like, in the room that we have anything with. We have the key, which we know Morgan had, so it's not like someone took it from her and went in there. Floor plans, yeah, again, no like secret entrance or anything like that. The autopsy report, the pistol that shot twice, the knife, the costume, and the photo. Let's look at the photo again. The folding screen is like behind a bunch of stuff. That is a little weird, but yeah, we have nothing to really show that's specific to this question of whether or not I can prove that's not Maya, so no. Well, Mr. Wright. Nothing, Your Honor. That's very smart of you, Mr. Phoenix Wright. You really should give up trying to prove this is not Maya Fey. I didn't say anything about giving up. I just don't have the right piece of evidence to prove my argument. That's enough. Is this it? Is this all I could do? I think it is quite obvious to this court that a verdict of not guilty is not possible. I told you. Totally 100% impossible. Miss Von Karma, do you have any further questions for this witness? Having established the defendant's guilt, further questioning won't be needed. What about the defense? No further questions, I presume? I couldn't protect Maya. The defense? The defense... Objection! Or something. Oh, there we go. Phoenix. Phoenix, you can't make that kind of face. A lawyer is someone who smiles no matter how bad it gets. Well, it looks like Mia's spirit is here to help me. Again, I'm PhilInTheBlanks. See you next level. Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this episode, click that subscribe button and hit the bell icon to know when the next episode is up. If you want to support my channel, share some videos with some friends and consider supporting me on Patreon.